What's up, y'all? It's your girl Ariel Coverage. I am here for Video Vixen Visuals Chat behind the scenes with a Black female author. Today, I'm talking with Bonnie Mackey from Sikeston, Missouri. She has written a book called Sunshine State, and she is getting read all over the world, doing interviews all over the country. So I am so excited to talk to her, and I'm going to bring her to the stage now. Bonnie, what's up? What's good?
What's up? What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Well, I'm so excited to have you tonight. So this talk means a lot to me for so many different reasons. Partially because we're from the same area. So for those who don't know, the Blue Hill is an area in Missouri that is basically halfway in between St. Louis and Memphis. And so we got a lot of their influence, and it's just an interesting place to grow up. Like a lot of people don't really realize that there are black people in Missouri. I get that a lot when I introduce myself to people. So can you tell the folks a little bit about what it's like to be a black female author, especially from the Booth Hill?
Being a black female author from the Blue Hill is kind of hard. I'm just playing. Not really. Kind of though, because like a lot of people don't really look at Missouri.
Mhm.
You kind of got to break yourself out and make the connections and network, which thank God. I mean, I didn't like moving around a lot as a kid, but I'm thankful for that now because like I know so many people different places. Like I used to live in Atlanta. I'm in St. Louis now, but I used to live here when I was younger too. And then I lived in Memphis, Milwaukee, all type of places for
All
real.
through there.
So yeah, and then I got friends. I'm still cool with like everybody I went to school with in Atlanta. And when they get to moving around, my connections will grow even more because if they branching off from Atlanta going to Nashville, because I got some people in Nashville now or wherever the hell they going, I'm able to chat with them and they able to chat with other people and get the book going even more. So that's kind of
Yeah.
my thing. But a lot
Yeah.
of people in the Boo Hill never left the Boo Hill, so it might be a little, different for them. But just got to make sure the network.
Yeah. So can you just I want somebody outside of this to hear. So I've been in Atlanta for 10 years, and when I explain myself to people, they really don't like, can you paint a picture for them because you are the author? Like I write shorter little stories. I write little quips and blurs compared to what you write. Can you kind of paint a picture of what it's like growing up in the Blue Hill? Yeah, like in the middle of nowhere, but yeah. Can you explain it like a little bit to people? Like we have our own culture. It's very similar to. I would compare it to like something like P Valley is like the closest representation that we got. Something like that.
Yeah,
But can you
yeah.
explain to the people like what it was like for you growing up there?
So for me, I don't know. Like me growing up there is so like scattered because I'll be in Sikeston 1 year or 1 month, and then I'll be in like Atlanta another month. But growing up there, like as a kid, I say like it's very close knit. Everybody know everybody. Damn
Hmm.
near related to the town. Like me, I'm related to too many people down there, so I don't fuck
Same.
around. I ain't fuck around then. I don't fuck around now because obviously I'm married, but it's just too many people. Like you damn near related to the whole town. Like I'm a
Facts.
Ellis. I'm a Ellis. I'm kin to the Neals. But I'm a Johnson. I'm kin to the McGuires. And it's just like I'm kin to too many people. Some Howards. Like it's just too many. So um
Yeah, it's
that's the
Cassell's,
bad part.
Williams. It's Cassell's, Castles, Williams, and a couple Williams and a couple other people for me. So I feel you.
Yeah, like so you mess around and talk to your cousin or something.
You
And so
feel me?
that's weird. But you know, one thing I did love about it is that the people it's not that many schools down there. So like the
Hmm.
people you start Head Start with, that's who you graduating with, unless
Straight
they
up.
moved away or something. But it can mess up a friendship, being around each other all the time like that, but it also builds like very, very close bonds like that too, because you then went through everything with this person. Like you graduated Head Start kindergarten with this person, now you walking the stage And so I do like that. It's just the bad part about it is nobody got shit to do. So when you ain't got shit to do, they ain't gonna do nothing but be in everybody's business, called drama. There's not enough people. Soon as a new nigga touch town or a new female touch town, everybody on them. And they
Yeah.
done ran through the person now. So by
Oh
the
my God.
time, everybody done took their turn now they old. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't enough people. So you got people sharing baby daddies, sharing, cousins sharing baby daddies and shit like that. So it's just it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Like it's a close knit community, but at the same time it could be a little toxic.
Yeah, same. That's exactly how I would sum it up. Like a lot of people don't understand. Like it's it can be similar to being like in a borough in New York, like where you know everybody that lives in your little neighborhood. Except I feel like they got more inspiration. Like I always tell them, y'all saw millionaires, y'all saw billionaires, y'all saw Wall Street, y'all saw all this in the
Yeah.
country. We didn't have that. We had to travel to even see that. So like we not motivated and we're not less intelligent. We literally just got less actual connections. Most of us, unless we have some family, because like you said, nobody leaves. So it's like you have to make your way out and then get out
Mhm.
and then stay out
Mhm. And
and
it's
then
just
come back and
like,
so into the community and inspire. Like you can stay there. It's not the only way to do it, but like you said, if you're trying to navigate around certain stuff, that's how you do it.
and the bad thing about it is like you be behind. You know what I'm saying? When you in small towns, all you know is that small town, especially
Yep.
before social media became what it is today.
Mhm.
Because like okay, when I lived in Atlanta, I used to come back and visit Sykeston. So Atlanta is a whole different ball game. Like
Bruh.
seventh, eighth, ninth grade, we
It was
wearing
culture shock.
22-inch weaves, you know what I'm saying? Females coming to school with full face makeup. Like that was my daily life. Niggas was wearing Uggs before it became popular to wear Uggs everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like they'd be at school with Ugg boots on. But, you know, like for example, I came back home and I had the long box braids before it migrated this way. And so everybody's calling me dashiki and all that. I used to have like distressed pants. I cut them up, cut up my jacket and all that. I had a little hanger in my ear. Like I was kind of like, a little head. So I get made fun of because of that because they wasn't used to that. But when I go back to Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, this was popping.
I
But
like even
they
skinny
not up to it
jeans.
yet. Yeah, like they
Like the
wasn't
skinny
on it
jeans
yet.
first. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like for real, y'all really behind. Like y'all got to catch up. And when I moved back and I did them again, then that's when everybody else started doing it. It's like if y'all just liked it, y'all liked it. You ain't have to
Hate
do
them.
all that. But they be it just that's just the negative side of being in a small town though, because you wasn't really exposed to that. But this is pre, social media area though. I mean era though,
Mhm.
because on your Bebo was all your
Listen,
close people. You know what I'm saying? On your MySpace, it
exactly.
was your people you went to school with. You wasn't really having everybody from everywhere else. In my case, I kind of did because I was in Atlanta, but I still had people in Sykeston and I still had
Mhm.
people in St. Louis. So mine was a little different, but it's just that's just the bad part. Like everybody be a little bit behind, but social media kind of helped with that. So people kind of on the same accord now, or pretending
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that it closed the gap because, like, I still use Facebook probably more than anything else because that's how I connect with people back home. Like, that's where the most people that I know back home are. And then I also have people from Atlanta, so it allowed me to tap in with kind of everybody. Like,
Yeah,
I'm friends with 21 Savage's manager on Facebook. Like, he still uses Facebook. So, like, stuff like that, like, it kind of does bridge that gap between what was now and what was. But, like, it didn't used to be like that. We was in high school, college. Like, it was not like I even
yeah.
remember when I first started listening to J. Cole, like in 2014, I played him back home, and niggas was like, "No,
Hell yeah, like Future, like high school in Atlanta was just so motherfucking different, bro. Like I wish everybody could experience that high school there, or just high school at a black school, period. Because, bro, like our South Side Classic, like you know how Sykes versus Charleston is.
mm-hmm.
So our South Side Classic was I went to North Clayton, which is where Titty Boy went to school at. I think
Yeah,
Monica too.
I'm low-key
And
right in that neighborhood, so
yeah, so I went to North Clayton. Our South Side classic is North Clayton versus Riverdale.
mm-hmm.
And like it just used to be like Waka Flocka came to the game once. And that's just the nigga going, you know what I'm saying? That's his hood. And when we used to have like parties, shout out to Young Tone. Like I don't know if you know who he is, but he be shooting like
I
movies with
absolutely do.
Boosie over there.
We're gonna have to talk
Yeah,
about it
so
off interview because yeah.
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 But so he used to throw like parties, like no ID required parties for high schools. And
Mm.
so ninth grade it up used to go and it'd be like Future be in there, you know, Stewie Rock, Travis Porter, shit. That nigga, what's that nigga name? Man, there used to be so many niggas up in there. Like you literally, of course, Future wasn't what he is now then, but to the city he was. You
He
know what I'm
was,
saying? To
yeah.
the city he was.
He was
He was an
meathead.
underground nigga. He was meathead, yeah. And I remember when I first heard his name because I was riding in the car with Rob. I don't know if you know who Rob is, but he like kind of chunky, dark skin. He
Dark
funny.
skin with glasses. He
Yeah.
makes hits. Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to go with his stepbrother-in-law or
Mm.
whatever. So we all used to hang out, and that's how I found out about like Future old name
Mm.
Meathead because his peoples was like she dated the owner of Dungeon Family or some shit. But that's how like cool it is to like to be living different places because you don't know who. Like you
Exactly.
just get in the right doors and you just get to know everybody. But I just wish everybody could experience high school there because you paying $5-10 to be in the party with Travis Porter. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
And then got free rent. Like
yeah,
it has
like
time you living in the city for free. Now it costs people like 2 racks at least.
yeah, like
It
that shit
costs two
used to be
racks to be
so
on the
much
outskirts.
fun.
So yeah. And I think it's funny because like to go back to our original point, everybody know everybody. Like notice both the people you drop them like, yeah, I know this person. Like,
Everybody know
and it's
everybody.
small too. Like these cities be the scenes, the creative scenes be small. And so
Yes, they do.
it's similar to how it is just back home in general. Everybody know everybody. Like it's like our scene is small and these scenes within the city be small. So
Yeah, for
to
real. I used to think that it wouldn't be like that there until I kept running into the same people. But
you
go
know,
ahead.
like it's 6 million people and somehow I always see the same 25 folks. Like, how does this work like this? So to piggyback kind of off of what we were talking about you, you know, living a lot of places, meeting a lot of people, making all these connections, not knowing who knows who. I wanted to ask about your inspiration. So, like we said, like family is there. Back home, we not at all saying we not down in Missouri at all. Like I love home. Is my entire family is there. I love them cornfields. I love our culture, the food. I love going walking. They don't know nothing about that in the city. They
Yeah,
don't
they don't.
going like you
For walking
okay,
for
it's a hot
fun.
summer day. You feel me? It's a hot summer day. I'm about to just go walking where I know
Get cute
everybody
and walk.
get cute and walk and then just drive. When I come home, I still literally hit the same block. Like I gotta do
Yep.
just
Go
spin
Ruth.
past my auntie shop. Shout out to
Murray
Patty.
Lane.
You know what I'm saying? All that. So can you talk about like what inspired you to write like your stories? They give me so many of like the neo black classics that we was reading growing up, like Zane, and it has some Zora Neale Hurston to it, like the classic black artists. You know, they're a little bit older than that, but it gives me so much like Alice Walker, like all these amazing black female writers that your work reminds me of. Can you let me know like who inspired you to write and then who inspired like some of your actual stories, if that is also the same or different?
Okay, so who inspired me to write? I'm gonna be honest. No author inspired me to write. I actually, I just always wanted to write for real, for real. Like I've been writing since second grade. Everybody who already heard my interviews, I'm pretty sure y'all heard it, but I've been writing since second grade. Um, and the reason why I'm kind of like passionate and good at it is because my mama really shaped me to be a better writer. when I would get in trouble, she would make me write essays. She would make me do a whole research paper. Um, Either I had to read a book or read an article, and I would have to whatever prompt she gave me, I would have to do it, and I had to do a web circle. I mean, the little web thing. I would have to do a rough draft, take it to her, let her review it, and then I had to make some changes, do the final draft, read it to her. Like that's what shaped me to become a better writer to the point where I was in AP classes, um, and I just enjoyed it. And I also wanted my phone back, so I was gonna get it. I was gonna do it. So that writing fast like that is because of her. Like I wanted my phone back, so I was gonna make sure I did that essay and I did it correctly, so I wouldn't have to keep going back and doing it. And it kind of messed me up a little bit though because I'm a procrastinator now. But I know I can get it done at the last minute. Cause I actually was nowhere near finished when I got finished with Sunshine State. Like I was nowhere near finished a couple weeks prior. I just sat there and and did it or whatever. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out, so I just did it. But I was probably like maybe like 4 or 5 chapters in when I started back writing it and got finished with it within like 2 or 3 weeks. But inspired the stories, I would say my dreams inspired those. My husband inspired those because we got like very open communication. So we talk a lot. Like if you can see my call log, we talk a lot. And we text a lot. Yeah, we've been like that for a very, very long time, since 16. Falling asleep on Skype, that's a whole nother thing. But so we talk a lot and we discuss like a lot of different things, and he may say that'll sound like a good book. And I'll be like, yeah, it probably could. And I just feed off of that. So him, and then me dreaming, really, I pick a lot of my like I started 5 other books. I'm not finished with them, but when they come in my head, I like to start them. I probably write like 2, 3, 4, 5 pages, and then I leave it alone. But I just want to have it, so
As
when
you
I
should,
come
yeah.
back, yeah, and
You let the spirit flow, like you literally let the energy flow.
yeah, like let me see it.
A lot of people tell you, oh, write in the block, just sit down and write. Like I think that's maybe if you're already a multimillionaire, best time, like New York,
Yay.
when it's
Like,
already you. But I think when you letting the spirit use you and you're putting out these projects and you're building your work, like once there's pressure and you're doing it for other reasons, maybe that's the right way. But I think a lot of times we try to pressure ourselves to write in a big old block, and it's not always
yeah,
the
it
right
ain't
way
gonna
to do
work
it.
like that. Like this a book I started already. I started this like a year ago. I think it's about
Oh no. So we having technical difficulties, y'all. Bear with me just a second. Y'all bear with me. We just waiting on some little technical issues to get resolved. And we're back.
I'm back. Girl, I don't know what happened.
Service. This is what happens when you do things virtual, y'all. It's video, vixen, visuals, first virtual interview. So while we wait for Bonnie to get back, we're gonna chill and vibe. If you guys want to ask her any questions, you can definitely put it in the chat. We're just dealing with the service issues because we're in two different states. So I'm going to add her back. Hey girl, hey.
Hey, I like in the waiting room, like.
So we are going to just move along. So I think it's really cool that you inspired yourself because like for me, like it was just hard for me to really like see myself in anything, and like I had a lot of ideas that I didn't act upon. So can you like talk a little bit how what parts of you like helped you like not if there was any fear or about starting this journey, or if there was any like if you had to build your confidence, or can you tell people like was it just like something that you just I'm gonna take a leap on this, like how was your journey in saying okay, I'm gonna do something that I've never seen anybody from my area do?
um, I'll say it's just I'm an impulsive person and I'm a creator. So honestly, I just be like, I want to do this. And so I just do it. And I might get bored and then I might stop doing it. But and that's a bad thing. Um, but I only do that if I don't care about it. Like I just want to see if I could do it. And once I master it, I'll be like, okay, I want to do something else now. I did it. But honestly, I just was like, look, I really want somebody to read this. Like, I really want somebody to read this book. I see it as like a series or a movie or something, and I was just like, I gotta see what everybody else think. Like if I can get some good reviews or just like honest reviews about my writing from somebody that ain't me, that ain't a close confidant or nothing, like real opinions, that'll let me know if I should continue or not. So I just had to kind of get over my own anxiety to get to that point though, because I was like going through a little bit of depression and shit like that. So once I got past that, that kind of like made me put my foot down and say, "Girl, you got to get it done." It was really like losing my daddy, but I had already started back writing prior to him losing him, but like losing him was like, okay, go and get it done. So for real, if you like a person that's like worried about starting a new journey, even if it's not writing, just do it. Like, and when you do it, make sure you do it right and put your all into it. Don't half-ass it, because people can tell when you just rushed and did anything and just put any old thing out. Trust me, like
Yeah,
you could tell when somebody put they all into something versus somebody just doing it just to do it. I
that's
mean,
really
I'm a person that do something just to do it, but it's because I actually want to do it right though. Like I want to
right.
see how I can do it right. Like I be doing little flyers and shit like that. Like that's not my daily thing, but when I do it, I'm gonna make sure I do it right for somebody. If they do book me for it, so just take
That
pride in it. For
that
real.
makes a lot of sense. And it's interesting, like sometimes I swear like grief births some of the most beautiful things like for artists. And it's like that's what's
Mhm.
in movies. And even sometimes like you'll hear a song and be like, oh, this is like you realize a song isn't as the lyrics aren't as happy as you thought, even though the song makes you feel good. And it's just how like that the book is kind of that for you, like you know what I'm saying, used it as your baby to pour into you and help you heal from this loss. And it wound up being something that helped so many other people and inspired so many other Black women and people in different ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
I'm just talking to
crazy.
you about this, like how you can do something just as an outlet of some sort, like a creative outlet or outlet to inspire. and then it winds up like it winds up being venting for you or just getting your art out there for you. And for somebody else is like, no, this is what I use to get me through a divorce. It is what I used to read on the bus ride home, so I wasn't annoyed for 2 hours when I was
Mm-hmm.
East Point to Gwinnett for work, like things of that nature.
Yeah.
I mean, because like that's a lot of people's life. So I just think it's really beautiful that when Black people create art, it just encourages more of us to create this art. We feel more seen, and like that really takes stress off of us. That like increases our heart health and shit. Like I hate to get all deep with it, but it's like
Nah, I get it.
I think
I
like we talk
definitely get
about
it.
Black people are starting to talk more about mental health, and I think it's really just imperative, like for Black men and women to have an outlet because it shows.
Yeah, mental health. That's why I got on this
You feel me?
autism shirt.
Yes.
People
It
taking
shows.
it more serious now.
Yes, people
Um,
understand that it's not. People understand that it's a spectrum, and that a lot of people. Ooh, and we can talk about this, and that a
we
lot of people have
can.
characteristic like is it for y'all that don't know. So autism, people call it on the spectrum, and people think the spectrum is a line. The spectrum is more like a spear. So you
Yeah.
can be anywhere on this sphere. You can be very extreme, or you can just have something like very you get overstimulated by sound very easily. That can be a trait,
Mm-hmm.
have that trait, or you don't like your food touching. That can be a personal preference, or it can be a trait that is on the spectrum. So it's a lot of different. We need to destigmatize it, period, because even with mental health, it's completely different than mental health. But like with all of these different ways that we live with neurodivergent people. That's the word I'm looking for. With
Mm-hmm.
people that are divergent, we within the Black community got to stop looking at it as something wrong with us and something that we got to fix, like therapy. I be trying to encourage people, like, you realize, if you go to therapy, you can literally just vent. Like, you can just be mad
Yep.
for 30 minutes. Do you know how relaxed you like it? Don't nothing have to be wrong with you. You will be shocked how much venting and then realizing, oh, I'm bothered because of this. Oh, maybe I need to stop and do nothing for 15 minutes when I get off work because I've been doing something every day, every moment of the day for the past 2 weeks. Like things of that nature. We gotta destigmatize taking care of ourselves. We gotta destigmatize loving on each other. Like, especially
Yeah.
on Facebook, you already know Black men, Lord, please be show each other some love. I know that society keeps talking about y'all, but like this is one of them things we got to pay attention to science. Like we got to embrace science for what we can, for where we can, and like but the books don't apply to us, the studies don't apply to us. We got to look at each other and like slow down and think about why we act the way we act with each other and out in the world too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Like for real. And with the autism thing, people assume if you're on the spectrum that you look a certain way. Like you know how
Like Down syndrome.
yeah, like they
Yeah.
just expect those kids to look like that. And our older generation, they don't grasp it. Like they just don't understand that it really is, something going on. Like they just be like, that's just so and so, that's just so and so or whatever, and they just
Yeah.
disregard it. And
Yeah.
I
I saw a
wish
video.
I wish back in the day they were on top of this stuff because we would know about our parents if they were, and then we would know if our spouse or our
You know?
but whoever was on the spectrum or they parents and their grandparents, but the ball got dropped, and it ain't really their fault because they didn't have the resources for real, or they didn't know how to get the resources.
Or
A
even like
lot of
people
people
in our
back was
community.
against the wall back then. So
Even like people in our community, they'd be like, "Oh, I don't know why so and so act out. He in and out of jail. It could be schizophrenia. It could be PTSD from him seeing somebody get shot when he was little, and he just never."
definitely PTSD
It's a lot of
for a lot
PTSD.
of people that
It's
grew
a
up in
lot
the
of
hood.
PTSD in the hood, and we don't realize it because every time
Hella
we talk over it,
PTSD.
it's more PTSD. Like we
Yeah.
don't have time to recover from it. Like even on a global level, since George, I mean, it didn't start with George Floyd. It's been a lot. I mean, but even in the past, since we've been adults, Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland,
Yeah.
George
It,
Floyd,
it's too many.
you feel
Trayvon
me?
Martin. Like that was a big one for us. Like for
I,
real.
right. I did a march that day and I forgot about that. I'm like, it's almost too far back. Like, there's just been so many. But
Yes.
yeah, with that being said, it's just like we gotta we gotta slow down and think about like people the outside world tries to dehumanize us so much. We gotta think about the human causes of some of the things we do and
Hmm.
like slow down and love love on each other a little bit more. Cause like that sound corny as hell, but like a lot of times the solution is just slowing down, like you good? Like but it's just it's not on us. I don't think the reason that I don't blame us for the way that for being so harsh with each other. I think it's just been so much that we taught to be so tough with each other to present ourselves to survive in the outside world, and
Yeah,
it
it's
winds
a
up coming out
survival
in ways
mode.
to harm our community.
You constantly on survival mode. Like I couldn't like hearing the stories about how like my husband and them grew up. I couldn't imagine like dealing with that on a daily. You know what I'm saying? Like when I lived here in sixth grade, damn near everybody I went to school with is dead. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And they died when we was like 15, 16, 14. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't make it past 17, majority of them. And I be having to tell my mama, like, you know, up here is different from back home. Like this is gang culture is what's going on here, and a lot more than that too. And that's just their normal life.
Mm,
They don't know nothing else.
yeah.
So I couldn't imagine growing up like that. Like I could not imagine it. I can't imagine that for my kids either. So that's why I'm out the way. But I just couldn't imagine it.
I feel you. Same here. That's why we work our asses off to so that our kids can never imagine some of this stuff that we had to hear about or have experienced. So, speaking of imagination, the next question I got is about Sunshine State. So, how and when did you come up with the concept for Sunshine State?
So I came up with the concept in 2020. That's when I started writing it. Actually, I had saw a Snapchat I had of me like first when I first tried to write it down. I had put it on Snapchat in 2020, but I had stopped around. I would just write and then come back to it. And then 2021, I stopped until shoot, I stopped for like a while. I stopped for like 3, 4 months and then I picked back up on it. But 20 2022 I got the ball rolling then. That but we came up with that concept in the shower. We were talking we were talking about global warming. So, and
That's so dope. I love Black love.
yeah, that's like a ritual of ours. Um so we were just talking about global warming, and I don't know if you ever seen the article, but it was an article that said Miami will be underwater by 2050, South
Hmm.
Miami. And so we were talking about that, and he was just like, "Yeah, that'll be a good book. You should write it." And I was like, "All right, I just got to figure out how I'm gonna write it. Like I know, and really, I'm telling you this because it really don't mean nothing to the story. Like it just setting up the setting for it.
Hmm.
But I mean it means something, but not really. It just has something to do with the setting.
Gotcha.
But I was just like, okay, I got this. I know what's causing this, but I got to figure out what I'm gonna make the story about. And so I wish I could tell y'all, but I can't tell y'all.
Because you got to read the book.
You got
And,
to read the book,
do you
and you
know where
got
you
to
can read
read
the book?
part two too.
You can find part one on Amazon. So go get that.
Yes,
So
yes.
the thing that I think is really dope about the book is playlist. And as you all know, I love me some playlists. So
Mm-hmm. Me too, girl.
I think that it's really amazing. Like it kind of gives it a cinematic feel. Like, you feel like it helps you envision things more and get a feel for the character before you even actually get introduced to the character for the first couple of chapters. So what kind of, where did that concept come from for you, like to give each chapter a playlist, and how did you select the songs?
Okay, so I read a book, and this one of the authors, she had a playlist in her book, and I just thought that was so neat. I didn't go listen to it because it wasn't my type of music. Well, actually, I wouldn't listen to some of it, but some of it I just knew I wasn't gonna listen to. But I just thought that was so neat. Now that did inspire me. That little piece right there, because I'm a music person. I be making playlists on my Apple playlists, and people be downloading them. I just make any kind of playlist. So I thought that was neat because I'm like, okay, I love music, and a part of Silas, which is Blue. A lot of people don't know his real name, or they just disregard his real name and just call him Blue. But Silas listens to music a lot in the book, and that's because I kind of gave him pieces of my family. Like my characters kind of got pieces of my home in there. So he got the love and music, and he also has my youngest son nickname. Um, but even though he has my youngest son nickname, I mirrored him off my oldest son. And
Oh,
his other brother is the brother in the book is actually mirrored after the one that's really called Blue. So I just swapped them, and I incorporated bits and pieces of my kids' personalities, kind of how I would see them when they get older, but not like fully, because of course I can't really guess that, but kind of little traits of how I would see them as they get older. Like my oldest, he's kind of quiet, he's techie, he like to draw, he to himself, and that kind of reminds me, that kind of gave me um, the foundation for Silas. And then my youngest, he showboat. He gotta be turned up. He gotta be the life of the party. He gotta have attention on him. He like sports. So I gave that to Josiah because that's who I see every day. That's who I be with every day. And my kids inspire me. And so I just felt like might as well use them. So, but back to the selecting songs. I chose songs that I felt like went with what was going on in the chapter. Well, how I wanted it to go on. And some of the songs changed as I kept writing the chapter. But I really just went with what flowed better. But honestly, I picked the songs before I even wrote the book. Like I was like,
let's go.
because I want it to be at the end of the day, I want it to be a movie or a show. So I looked at it like if I saw my book coming on TV, like if I saw this coming on TV, I would want this song to play.
That's dope.
Like you know how Stump
It's
the
the it
Yard,
was like the quote closest possible to way to have a soundtrack to your book without
yeah,
having a budget to shoot a movie.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
So like you know
That's
how
amazing.
Stump the Yard when Bone Crusher say attention at the beginning. So
Mhm.
like I saw that with the first song. Like I'm like I want if what I made tequila. I think I made tequila the first song, or I might have changed it because I know
It
I
was
switched
Larry
some
June.
around. Oh, it might have
It
been
was
Larry
Larry June, but it
June.
wasn't tequila.
I think I moved tequila because I said, yeah, something got to change. Is number
Yes,
one,
you gotta
but
change.
originally tequila was gonna be number one because I wanted that. I wanted the way that beat come in by Earth Gang. I
Mhm.
wanted the way that beat come in to be coming in when that credit coming up, like how Marvel do with all the
Mhm.
characters or whatever.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
how, yeah, I wanted that song to be playing as the credits and shit came up. So,
So
so I kind of just picture scenes like this next book. the not out of this series, but the next book outside of this series, the the project, that soundtrack so cold. It's cold, I'm telling you. It's based in the 90s, 80s. So,
Ooh.
Mr. Big,
Mm,
uh UGK, I gotta throw that in there regardless of the year that the book came
period.
in.
Keep up.
But it's gonna be just wait. I can't wait. I can't wait, y'all.
I can't either. I'm so excited. And I think that's really cool because I kind of do the same things with my playlist. So I always do the photos and the covers based off of the vibe of the playlist and all that.
Mhm.
Everything is always cohesive. So it puts people on this journey like you do, where you know what I'm saying, for that moment you're in another world. You have that soundtrack, you have that photo, you have this whole vibe,
Mhm.
this theme or whatever this mood is, and hopefully you relate to it and hopefully it feeds your soul. For me, but for yours, it's definitely just automatically
Yeah.
because I even with like blues chapter, like I automatically get him. Like I start when you start reading the book, you just like, yeah, I can relate. Yeah, I know how that is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that. So I think that person is like a lot of just relatable content, as the people say. So my next question is kind of like based upon what we just talked about. For you, what was the hardest part of writing the book?
The hardest part was sitting there coming up with what to write. Cause I don't like I said, I like to as I got older with writing, I really didn't care to do rough drafts. Like I start on them, but I didn't finish them. I just pick off that and just do the whole thing or whatever. So that's how I write my book.
Mhm.
I just write. Like I don't write it down on paper and then well I said right. I type the book. How I type the book, I don't like write down on paper or nothing. I just sit in front of the screen and I just type. And I read it back to myself as a reader because I read a lot. I read too much actually. So I read it back to myself as a reader and not as the person writing it. And if it don't flow how I would want a book to flow when I'm reading it, I will erase it and I will start it over again and make it sound better until it sounds exactly how if I was reading a book of an author I didn't know or whoever, and I'd be like, that don't sound right. Like, why would she put that? Don't make sense.
Mhm.
And that's how I critique myself. That's how I edit myself. I edited myself. Like I did
Oh,
everything myself
yeah.
except for the cover. Well,
No,
I directed the
that's
cover.
harder than it sound, y'all. Like I've edited a book before. It's difficult.
Very hard. Like you got to go through every page of
Mhm.
that book,
Because sometimes
every
you correct
line.
things in your head, and you got to make sure you're not just auto correcting it and that it flows.
Yeah.
You have to distance yourself if you know the author, and so sometimes you want to leave it as is because you know what they mean, especially if it's yourself. So yeah.
Mhm. And that's another reason why like I'm kind of comfortable with editing myself. Like even if you see it, I don't know, you may have picked up a few errors, but it might not even been on my behalf because I've read some other books by like publishing
Mhm.
houses where it's like typos in there. So,
Great.
but anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. Like editing myself because I know how I want them to talk. Like if I other people might not know how I want them to talk, like how to pronounce their name. Like people
Right.
don't pronounce Dracena name Dracena. Her name is Dracena. Some people try to say Dracana. It's Dracena.
Right.
And I spelt it like that on purpose because I originally got it from it's like a iguana type of dragon thing. It's like a iguana but it's big. And it's actually the name is Dracena or Dracana. Like it's spelt similar, but like an extra A in there or whatever. And I really loved that. I was watching like Most Dangerous Animals with my husband. And I just really liked that name. I was like, yeah, that could be a character name. But I had to make it where everybody would be able to at least understand how to say it. Like they ain't gotta be struggling and try to figure out how to say the
Mhm.
girl name. Like it's just Dressina. And so
That makes sense.
that editing thing, like I was gonna do AI for like an audio book. But girl, listening to that AI try to say her name and try to say parts of that book is just
Dracula.
blowing me. So I was like, nah, I'ma just wait.
Yeah, because if other humans can't even get AAVE right, they
I
definitely,
know they ain't gonna get it right.
yeah,
And they did not get it right. So
baby. Is oh Jesus. So speaking of, you said your husband, and I think that's so dope and like beautiful. When people get to marry their high school sweethearts, because I've seen all the people I know, it's like the women and the men have just been spared from being with a lot of bullshit. Like they've been able to like not have to learn. They've been able to foster themselves and have somebody support them as they grow with each other, and I think it's just such a beautiful thing. So can you give the people what your relationship advice is, or how you keep it like affectionate? We're friends on Facebook, y'all, and so I always see like they're always affectionate, loving, talking to each other all the time. Like she said, after all this time, it's a beautiful thing. So can you give people like what helped you in your relationship?
yeah, what helps me in my relationship is open communication. Like just having the freedom to talk to your partner about anything without no judgment or, you know, just being able to speak freely without feeling like you're going to be ridiculed
Mm-hmm.
and
Big thing.
being able to have a healthy communication system. And I say it's a system because it's work. Like it's like a motherboard on a computer or whatever. Like that shit has to function. Like you got to make sure everything functions for if you want shit to work type shit. I don't know.
Right.
I'm trying. I know what I'm trying to say. I hope y'all get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, if
But
the wire is loose, it's gonna eventually mess up some stuff. Like
yeah. So
you can't just leave a computer running and not take care of it. Like
yeah.
you still,
So
yeah.
feeding your partners and I'm not talking about their mouth. Well, yeah, you can feed their mouth and their belly too, but like I like this, like ego. Like I like to boost or confidence. I ain't gonna say ego. Boost their confidence. Like I like to tell him, "You look good," or he tell me the same thing. Like, and people got a bad misconception of thinking because they've been with a person for so long that they don't have to say these things. They don't have to do these things.
Yeah.
Um, well, I've been with. It's like the main
I want
excuse
to hear it
is
from you.
I've been with you this long, so why I gotta keep telling you? I
Mm.
want to hear it. Like
I want to
it
hear it from you.
makes,
I don't care about nobody else's opinion.
yeah, like it could make that person day. Like, and you should
Mhm.
want to make your person's day. You know what I'm saying? And it's little things like that that could keep a foundation solid. Like just reassurance, like letting your partner know, like, yeah, you are it for me. Like
Yep.
or just letting them know like I love this about you and taking interest into what your partner is interested in, like actually trying to figure out, like you don't have to like it, but at least understanding what they like, things that they care about, because people get selfish, and they forget about the other person. So a lot of that, and just making sure you spending time, like make time. I don't care if y'all just shower every day, together. Like just try to make some type of time, because that's important. And when you don't give somebody time, they're gonna find somebody who's gonna give them time, or somebody's gonna
Definitely.
find them to give them the time, however you want to say it. And you don't want that, because once somebody see a little crack,
And then once the
um,
trust is broken, once they in. Like
they in, baby. Once you give them a little inch, you know what I'm saying? Um, so you got to be mindful of how you speak to your partner as well. Cause some shit you can't take back. Even if you say sorry, that's stuck on them. That's scarred on them. They're gonna always go back to that moment.
Yep. And Nigeria in the chat, she said affirmations. Absolutely. You got to affirm yourself and your partner.
Yeah.
Like, affirm the relationship, affirm it all, but particularly like for this topic, yes. Affirm your partner. Like, you just never know, especially black men. Like, ever since Takeoff got killed, I'm so passionate about, because I was just like, why? It infuriated me so much, and it made me realize that, like, kind of how we talked about, they always seen as aggressive. They cannot even be being aggressive, and then somebody gonna read it as aggressive. And so when they leave the house, they
Mm-hmm.
automatically on guard all the time. So it's much easier for somebody to have altercation. And we like, oh, why all the gun violence? And like, yeah, a lot of it is senseless, but it's because niggas are stressed, and when you're stressed,
Yeah.
you're impulsive. And so, with that being said, like, you never know, like, you could be saving your person's life just by giving them a little extra love, so that when somebody else who's stressed out try him at the gas station, he's like, you know what, you got him going home with my woman. Like,
Yeah. It
and
make them
vice
think twice about things
versa. Yeah, and
because they
just
know they got somebody that care about them at home. Somebody that's
yeah,
waiting up for them. And that shit is important. And that goes for both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like, let your person know that you care and you love them, and just be mindful of what you say. You cannot take a lot of things
not
back,
take it back.
and it gets stuck in people's heads. Like, the way you treat people, no matter how much you say sorry, it'll be there, and they gonna
Especially if
always go
they
back
yeah.
to it.
Yeah, like some people like me, I have the sound bite. I can forgive you, but sometimes the sound bite pop back in my head. I got to remind myself, okay, that person was upset, or
Hmm.
or I put this boundary in place because that person meant it in that moment. So now I understand that that's an emotion, that I need to tread lightly with or whatever. But like you said, the affirmation is like, it's so pivotal, especially for Black people, because we have all these things working against us. Like, we have all these things to worry about when we leave the house. So we gotta, especially if we want to be together, build each other up, because we don't have as many past generations and examples to look back at because of systemic racism, slavery, civil rights,
Yeah.
crack epidemic, war and drugs. Like,
Hmm.
going.
Too much.
No.
Shit. Now it's a little different, but it's like OnlyFans and shit like that. Like, it's a lot of
Yeah.
that now. So it's not as detrimental as those things were,
Right.
but they do affect it. Like,
Yeah.
everything
It's
is
still
so fast right now. Dating is fast. Like, I
dating
hate to
apps.
be dating right now. Like,
I
cause
just
like
refuse. Like, I literally just stopped.
I
Like,
would
I'm
hate
just
to be
single.
in the dating scene right now because it's
Yeah.
it's just too much. Like, it's
Yeah.
like you don't know if you're doing too much, if you're not doing enough. Should you say this? Should you not say that? Is you moving too fast? If you do this, if you don't do that, like, shit just so up in the air right now because people are basing their relationships or goals off of social media and not real life. When
Mhm.
you got to understand, like, people show you what they want you to see. They're not gonna show you shit they don't want you to see. Like, if a nigga been whooping on a girl tail for 20 years and she just now posted it today,
That
it's
don't
because
mean
she ready for you to see it now. You know what I'm saying? She ready for it to be out there. She ready to tell that. But you wouldn't know that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what people got going on at home. So you can't base your life or your relationship off somebody else's shit because one minute you can see them happy on Facebook today, tomorrow they broke up or he didn't kill her. You know what I'm saying? We didn't seen that too many times where
right.
we seen grand ass engagements and then that motherfucker dang off her, or off him or whatever the hell.
Right.
So just don't fall for don't fall for the dumb shit. So
Yeah.
just live your own life. Like, be happy, do what you want to do. If you want to have two men and they cool with it, cool. You want to have two chicks and they cool with it, cool. Or however you want to do it, as long as it works for you and yours, that's all that matter. Like, cause I
Mhm.
mean, shit, you gotta die at the end of the day. Nobody else do, and you gotta be happy. So, don't worry about what nobody else think or what nobody else gonna say, cause it's your life. Long as you ain't harming nobody and you taking care of your business, can't nobody say shit to you. Can't nobody say shit, period. But
Period.
you don't, long as you ain't giving nobody a reason to come say something to you.
It's not
Um,
constructive criticism. As long as you got it together, it's not constructive criticism.
yeah,
Hey, it's like, okay,
yeah,
thanks for
like,
your opinion, and I'm gonna disagree.
yeah, you know what
That's
I'm saying?
real.
Like, if you handling your business Can't nobody say nothing to you. But if you ain't handling it, then yeah, you gonna hear something and you probably deserve to hear what you hear.
Mm-hmm.
But just live your own life, man. Do what you want to do. Make yourself happy. Make your partner happy. As long as y'all happy and your kids happy, that's all that matters.
And that's that on that. Woo! Bro, this conversation has been what I wanted and needed. So I got one last thing to bug you about.
What's up, mom?
And I know I already seen from your posts, there's plenty of us. So when can we expect Sunshine State Part 2?
Hmm. So y'all can be expecting it in March. Is it gonna come in March? I don't know. Like it. Everybody just now. Like the book is just now doing what I've
Wait.
been waiting on it to do. Um, you know what I'm
You gotta let it
saying?
ride like an album. Some people are like that.
Yay.
Doja Cat album came out in 2019. In 2020, during the pandemic, is when all her singles started taking off.
Mhm.
Then she dropped Planet 20. I had to sit there and think about it when she dropped Planet Her because I was like, you dropped albums back to back? No. It's just she let it ride.
Yeah, cause I
Little
was
waves.
pregnant with Blue when I was listening to Moo and all of that,
Mhm.
and so it just take people time to catch up, and like now they're catching up to it, and now I'm getting booked for a lot of different things where I don't have time.
Yeah.
So um, but it's definitely coming. It's hella good. Like it's so good. I wish I could just drop it right now, but I'm not gonna do that because I want it to be perfect. But y'all gonna love it. I swear to God. For everybody that loved that cafeteria scene in the first book, that dual point of view, like
Mhm.
y'all gonna just know I keep it going with the imagery. I keep it going with the dual point of view. But I will say this: this book is majority from Dracina's point of view. It's mostly from hers. The first one was more so Blue. You more so got to get to know him.
Mhm.
But this one, you gonna see things through her eyes more than him. So I will say that. And it's gonna be a lot of shit that's gonna fuck y'all up. A lot of shit that's gonna fuck y'all up. That y'all not gonna guess it. So you're not gonna guess it, but I'm interested to see what y'all think. I mean, I'm not gonna rush to put no book out if ain't nobody waiting. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I'm just playing. I know y'all waiting, but as of right now, it's still March 23rd.
Okay. Okay. So y'all
But
be on the lookout.
it could be subject to change. But as of right now, it's March 23rd.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we cannot wait. The first book is addictive than a mug. Like, so I just want to thank you so much for taking time to talk to me tonight. Oh, she said she waiting. All right. So yeah, I told you we gonna be on you. So prepare for that.
Yeah,
Now,
most definitely.
be careful what you ask for, because that's like when Kaylani said she like hot Cheetos, and all her fans start bringing her hot Cheetos. So if you get off this and you got like 5, 10 messages in your inbox, like I'm waiting, that you
I
actually.
I love that. I screenshot it every time too. I love it. Yeah, let me know that you like. And for the people that read it, please go leave a review. Like I love that y'all tell me that y'all love the book, but leave a review, y'all, so everybody else can see that you love the book, so they can go buy it and they can go read it. Um, and for the high schoolers, y'all can check it out. Check it out in y'all high school. Sykeston High School can check it out there. University City High School in St. Louis can check it out there. And I'm working on getting them into some more. So if you got some contacts, call me. I'm donating the books. They're not paying for them. So whoever facility I can get them in, let me know. I'm fine with paying to put my own stuff in there. It's my stuff.
Well,
So just let me know.
I got you. Well, y'all heard her. Like, come on, this is gonna be on all the social platforms. So go ahead and tag whoever you know. If you've read the book, tell somebody else to read it. If you haven't read it, go buy it. Go buy it. Like right now,
Yes,
you know where
yes.
you can find it. You can find it on Amazon. So
Yes, and I want to thank you, love, for bringing me on here. I really appreciate it, and I thank everybody that listened and watched. And I hope I look cute, cause
ooh, the cheekbones are cheeking the skin and the smile is smiling. The lashes is her. Thank you
yeah.
so much, Bonnie. I
Thank you,
appreciate you.
babe.
Have a good night. And before you go, y'all follow her Instagram
Yes,
at the real underscore Bonnie, Twitter the real Bonnie M underscore, TikTok the real Bonnie Mackey, and let's get it. And
and
you
get
can
your
go and
copy.
get your
Get
copy.
your copy.
Other way, this one. Period. Thank you, Bonnie, and I'm gonna take you out. Goodbye.
Bye, babe.
So thank y'all so much for joining. Again, you can follow Bonnie at the real Bonnie M and follow my page, Video Vixen Visuals. Thank you so much for joining. I'll be having more interviews coming your way, more Can It Talks. Thank you so much for being here and share it with your friends. Y'all have a good night.